Hi there, I'm John McAdams. Thanks a lot for joining me in this video. I recently had the privilege of attending the Bergara Academy on Queen Mountain Ranch near Evanston, Wyoming, where I had the opportunity to do some serious long-range shooting. When I arrived at the academy on the first day, I had never shot past 600 yards. Well, when I left a couple days later, I had successfully hit a target over 1.5 miles away with a 7mm PRC. I'll talk more about the details of the Bergara Academy in a separate video, but long story short, the guys at the Academy put on an outstanding course that covers all of the fundamentals of marksmanship, specifically oriented towards hunters. Ordinarily, their 2-day beginner Western hunting course consists of some classroom instruction, some time at a known distance range shooting steel targets out to 1,000 yards from a bench rest, and then some time shooting targets that better simulate various hunting scenarios where you're shooting at targets at quote-unquote odd ranges, like 462 yards, for instance. And you're doing that from field shooting positions, prone, sitting, kneeling, standing, with different types of support, etc. Some of those engagements take place at uphill or downhill angles as well. Long story short, those scenarios are designed to give the students some valuable experience and knowledge they can apply to help them be successful on future hunts. Well, I attended the academy with Colin Russell from Bergara, Gavin from Ultimate Reloader, Ray from the X-Ring, Joel from Precision Rifle Network, and Zach from Mountains Mullets America. We went through a more abbreviated version of the training, and for this reason we had the opportunity to do some shooting at longer ranges than is normally the case during the 2-day beginner Western hunter course. Specifically, we shot out to 1 mile on the last morning we were at the academy. Once again, I'll talk about that in more detail in a future video. But things went so well at 1 mile that we decided to stretch things out even more that afternoon. Specifically, we decided to see if we could hit a target all the way out at 2,700 yards. Now, 1 mile is 1,760 yards, so we were shooting at 1.53 miles that afternoon. As you can see, conditions were pretty darn windy. We were fortunate that the wind was very calm in the morning when we were shooting at 1 mile, but that extra wind we dealt with in the afternoon added an additional layer of complexity. Not only were we shooting at 2,700 yards, but we were doing so in very windy conditions. I was initially pretty skeptical that we would be able to connect at that range, but I decided to give it a shot. Now, we were shooting at a 48-inch by 48-inch square steel plate at 2,700 yards. That's just under a 2 MOA target, about 1.8 MOA. Ray from the X-Ring went first. Then Gavin from Ultimate Reloader was next. Both of those guys were shooting Bergara rifles chambered in 300 PRC. Zach from Mountains Mullets America shot right before me, and he was shooting a Bergara MG Light in 7mm PRC. Now, while each individual person was shooting, there were 3 to 4 of us looking through spotting scopes to spot those misses and provide adjustments for the shooters. Now, as you can see, the misses are usually pretty visible, both through my camera and through our spotting scopes. However, as you can also see, there were some instances where we just didn't see a miss.
Okay, elevation perfect. Too much wind.
It's a 5.5 second flight time.
Ooh. Yeah, you were target and a half left. Maybe back it down to 2, but if it does at all, you'll be back.
The shooter would be all around the target for the first couple of shots, then sometimes just barely miss.
Just right.
But then they would have a shot mysteriously disappear. The conditions didn't change, and they were using the same dope for the target as the previous shots that were all around the target, so we figured they were in the ballpark.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
But we could not see an impact on the target at that range, either through my camera or through those spotting scopes. This happened with Ray, it happened with Gavin, and it happened with Zach. Now, not only did we have a couple of quote-unquote lost shots with Zach, but we all thought that we could see a mark on the steel plate above and to the right of the orange triangle that might indicate a hit towards the end of his shot string. For this reason, we sent a couple of guys up to the target to get a closer look after Zach finished shooting. Well, we soon discovered that there were actually at least 5 distinct impacts on the target when we inspected things at closer range. We don't know exactly who hit the target or how many times everybody connected, but this likely explained those mysterious lost shots. So I am pretty confident that Zach hit the target at least once. And in fact, it's likely, though not for certain, that Ray and Gavin both did too. But like I said, we just don't know for sure. Well, I was up next. To set the stage for what you are about to see, we decided to keep those spotters at closer range to better observe the target. They were off to the side, out of the line of fire, and they were actually at a lower elevation from us, screened by a ridge, so we were doing this safely. The spotters were in communication with Trisha from Bergara, who was sitting right next to us on the firing line. Now, I was shooting a rifle that was personally owned by Rob, who runs the Bergara Academy. It was a Bergara Wilderness Terrain in 7mm PRC. It started out as a 300 Win Mag, and Rob rebarreled it to 7mm PRC after that cartridge came out, but before Bergara started offering rifles in 7mm PRC. It was topped by a Toric UHD scope, 4 to 25 by 50 millimeter. I was shooting Hornady match ammunition, 180 grain ELD match bullet at 2,875 feet per second, actual measured muzzle velocity. Everybody else was shooting suppressed. My rifle had a break on it though. Okay, so here I go. I'm about to start shooting.
For your Fury, they make a mill and an MOA separate. Like 4 or 5 targets, right? And I ordered the mill, but elevation I only use that good. I don't use that in the school. I only use it for recording.
Hold 3 targets to the left from where you were.
Right. And honestly, for $1,000 all in, that's a good thing. Oh, I agree. Yeah, I had those on my list for Vortex. I just
Low left, way left.
Now, as you can hear, my first shot was low and to the left.
Just
He's getting there. Dang. So close. Windage is money.
My windage was almost perfect for shot number 2, but I still hit low. Then I corrected my elevation, but just barely missed off to the right side of the target.
Dude, you're gonna get it.
That last one was right there.
That was just off the right edge. Oh man.
Then I hit just over the target. Remember, I am shooting in a super stiff wind that is not remaining constant. It is constantly shifting in velocity and direction. And just when I get that wind hold down, the wind would change. Plus, I was also just dealing with the normal dispersion of the rifle and ammo, and any mistakes I made with my inputs to the rifle as a shooter were greatly magnified at that distance as well.
Is that
You just need to come a skosh down.
top left edge? Yeah.
Even so, as you can see, I was still hitting all around it. I'm not going to show every single shot here, but as you can see, I eventually connected on shot number 14.
I had no idea.
Man, I think that 300 just gives a little bit better splash. Pretty cowboy.
Here are the stats for that final shot I pulled off the Hornady 4DOF ballistic calculator. Time of flight, over 5 seconds. 995 foot per second velocity at impact. That bullet had less energy remaining when it hit that steel plate than a .45 ACP does at the muzzle. That shot had a whopping 3,441 inches, or 286 feet of bullet drop. A total of 9.5 MOA of wind deflection, or about 22.5 feet of wind deflection at that range. I held for 10 MOA of wind on that last shot, and that was close enough for the hit. Between the 6 of us who ended up shooting at this range, we had about a 10% hit rate. That's actually quite a bit higher hit percentage than I initially thought we would achieve when we started shooting at that target. I thought we would be lucky to hit it just once. Now, Zach and I both used the 7mm PRC. Everybody else used the 300 PRC at this range. And just to be clear, this was all done with either factory Bergara rifles or semi-custom Bergara rifles, in the case of me with that rifle that was a factory rifle that had a new barrel on it. We were not using $10,000+ custom rifles. And the fact that we were able to do this speaks pretty highly of what a Bergara rifle is capable of. Now, I am not recommending taking a shot on an animal at anything close to this range. Still, I thought it was really cool and fun to shoot out at that distance. I hit that target at a much farther distance than I ever dreamed was possible. Now, aside from this just being a fun and cool thing to do and to talk about, in practical terms, the knowledge and marksmanship ability necessary to connect on a shot like this at really long range still apply at closer range. In fact, having that ability to make a longer range shot does translate to a closer range shot on a smaller target, like an animal. In fact, having that ability to connect at really long range probably makes that closer range shot even more achievable, even under more demanding conditions. I had a great trip up to the Bergara Academy. It was awesome hanging out with Ray, Joel, Zach, Gavin, Colin, and the rest of the guys. Rob and the rest of the crew at the Bergara Academy know how to run a shooting school, and they are excellent hosts. Plus, Rob is also a hunting outfitter up in Wyoming, and he actually outfits elk and mule deer hunts in the same area where we were shooting. But he does, we were doing this in the summer, and he hunts there in the fall and the winter. So not only do Rob and those guys know about shooting, but they know how to set up realistic hunting situations at the range so you can better prepare for an upcoming hunt. Check out the Bergara Academy online and consider booking a trip up there to hone your marksmanship skills. You probably won't shoot at 2,700 yards or even a mile, but you will still learn a lot of stuff during your time at the Academy, and those skills will definitely help you close the deal and punch your tag on your next hunt. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now and hit that like button. Just click that thumbs up button and the red subscribe button below the video to make sure you don't miss out on any of my new videos. For more detailed information on popular hunting cartridges and what they are best suited for, click on the link in the description below or go to huntingguns101.com to get a free ebook I have written about the best hunting calibers. Now I'm going to turn it over to you. What is the longest range you have successfully hit a target at using the 7mm PRC? What ammo and what rifle did you use when you did that? Let me know by leaving a comment on this video right now. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and good hunting.